All right, so welcome back. We were talking first conversation for this evening with a person of Shagari Usman Bashiru, and he is a speaker of Nigerian Youth Parliament. And we'll be talking about some of the SDGs goals as it affects Africa. But first, Bashir, good evening and welcome to the desk.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Good evening, Bashir, and welcome to the desk.
Good evening, Mr. Godwin, and thank you very much for having me here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, Bashir.
Yeah. Thank
All
you very
right.
much for having me here. Good evening.
All right, so Bashir, let's delve into the conversation right away. You have been within, you were in the last conference that was held even in Russia, in Azerbaijan, and you've seen some of the developmental goals that is being set out, and Africa was the central point of conversation. But let's take the conversation from there. From when that conversation happened in Azerbaijan to where we are right now, how far have we come in terms of our sustainability developmental goals?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. And I think just like you said, I attended the COP Conference of Parties, which was held in Baku, Azerbaijan, and we saw the outcomes that were reached, and we saw the initiatives that were brought in, and we saw how different parties, which are the countries, how they came there and they contributed, and we saw the expectations, and we saw the expectations that were met and the ones that were not met. So we know everything, we know all these issues, and now we have passed the program or the dialogue stage. Now we are the implementation stage is the stage we are in now, which is exactly the stage that will handle the implementation of the issues that were discussed in this program in the previous program. So I can tell you that what I can tell you is that even though we were not able to the conference was not able to meet the high expectations of people, but I can still tell you that there are still reasonable number of outcomes that the conference was able to achieve with the little they were able to get. So, and I am telling you that currently, I have ever since that program, I have been monitoring the presidency for the conference, which is the government of the Azerbaijan and the general presidency for the program, and how they have been engaging communities and how they have been engaging countries participating in different climate conferences and different climate programs to see how they can actualize the idea, actualize the issues that were brought in the conference of parties. So I can tell you that we are currently seeing a reasonable outcome, and the next one, which is going to happen in Brazil, at the next conference of party, which is going to happen in Brazil this November, that's where we are going to see exactly the number of progress the previous conference had, and the way forward, and how we can move forward, and how we can actualize the. But for now, I can tell you that we are on track, and I can tell you that there are various ways that we are achieving what is going on. And currently, there's a conference that's taking place at the United Nations, which is called the ECOSOC conference, the Economic and Social Council conference, Youth Conference, which is set up by the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. The major aim of this conference is to bring the youth together in terms of decision making, to make sure that the youth voices are heard, to make sure that the youth contribute to policy making and to policy implementation. So I think that ECOSOC youth forum is also a part of this climate talks, and it will also help the youth, which are the future of tomorrow, the leaders of tomorrow. It will help them in having say in the policies and the areas of implementation of these goals, both the sustainable development goals and the climate mitigation at large. Thank you.
This sustainability developmental goal even in Nigeria. A lot of concerns have been raised. The first is that these sustainability developmental goals, be it 1, 2, 3, or 4, are still not find its basics in Nigeria. But then, if we look at this and tie it back to African country, can we say these goals are achievable within the African space?
Mr. Godwin, like I said before, I'm a person that always believe in the impossible, and I believe that whatever happens, if we can put our minds there and if we can stick to the blueprint, I believe that we can easily actualize it. And when we are talking about all these schools, like I said before, we the youth, we are the major beneficiaries of this school. And when we are talking about the youth population, Africa have the largest growing youth population in the world. So I believe that we have a large amount of large number of areas that we can help in this implementation of the sustainable goals. And I believe that Africa is the future of the world, and I believe that Africa will add more values to the goals if we can help in the implementation. So I believe that we can achieve it. We still have almost which is almost 5 years to achieve these goals. It doesn't mean that by 2030 we must achieve every goals. No, but what we want to see is that by 2030 we can see a reasonable outcome in each of the 17 goals. We can raise our hand and say that goal number one we have achieved this, goal number two we have achieved this, goal number three we have achieved this. So that's what we want to see, and that's what I believe that with the current state that we are seeing, with the current young population of young Africans, I believe that more people are getting knowledge about this initiative, and more people are being interested in participating in this initiative. And I believe that we are starting with youth, we are starting to know the dangers of these goals, the dangers of not participating in this implementation of these goals, and where we are trying to see how we can help in this implementation as the beneficiaries of this goal. So I believe that these goals we can achieve a reasonable outcome by 2030, and I have a high hope that with the growing population and growing population of the Nigerian youth and the African youth at large, I believe that we have an advantage there, and I believe that we can achieve this number. So if we look at the climate issue now, for example, many people now are becoming self-aware of the impact of the climate. We don't need to go to people and tell them that this is the issues that we are facing. We can see all the growing sea level, the temperature rising, and we know these things. We can see flood. We know the impact. So it is our duty as young people to see that we help mitigate this. Without a better world for us to live, then there's no future for the youth. There's no future for the young population. So that we are now becoming more cautious of all these things. We are becoming more cautious of all these issues. So, and now it is our civil responsibility to see that we help in these mitigations of this kind of climate issues and other issues. So I believe that the way we are now becoming cautious of all these kind of issues, it gives us advantage, and it gives the people advantage that we will contribute, and by our contribution, it will help in this achieving these sustainable development goals by 2030, inshallah.
Particular question in the light of this, in order to ask this particular question, when we look at the various sustainability developmental goals that we have even in the country, the way the implementation of this goal is, it tends to be on a reverse model, in the sense that the sustainable developmental goal is supposed to be championed from the grassroots, then it now scale up to the top, which is the urban community, from the rural community to the urban community, because largely people from the rural community are supposed to be the first beneficiaries of this goal. But what we tend to see, even in terms of the sustainability developmental goals, have become goals that are being pursued from the urban, and hereby leaving the rural community in almost a state of quagmire. With these irregular implementation models, are you sure that we are on the right track in implementing the sustainability developmental goals, and can we still achieve this even looking way above 2030, because 2030 doesn't look like what is visible? Can we achieve these goals even way above 2030?
Yeah, Mr. Godwin, like I told you before, we're not talking about achieving this whole 17 goals by 2030. Yeah, of course, we want to achieve it if it is possible. Yeah, but what we are saying is that we should try and achieve a reasonable outcome by 2030. Just like I said, we want to see a situation where we can point our hand and say that we have achieved social level in this area, social level in this area. So that's number one. Number two, we are talking about the areas of implementation is more of urban, not for the rural. You know, that's why we are pushing for what we call state climate policies. We notice that we have a climate policy in Nigeria, but we have a climate policy in Nigeria which is for Nigeria at large. So we notice that this policy, being it for Nigeria at large, will not be able to reach people at the rural level. So what we are emphasizing on, what we are calling on now, is to call on the state government to see that each state government can be able to come up with their climate policy at their state that will reach people at the grassroots level. So we have few states in Nigeria that have these climate policies. I don't have to mention them, but we have some states that we have done our research. They have the climate policies. Even at the conference of the party in Azerbaijan, some state went there to present their climate policies. So we are calling on other states, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, where there's vast population there. We are calling on them to come up with their climate policies to see how they can use that climate policies as blueprint in the areas of implementing the climate mitigations and in areas of implementing other sustainable development goals. So we want them to come up with the policies not only for climate change, for these sustainable development goals. I think almost all states, they have what they call SA on sustainable development goals. So I believe if the governors in their various states can be able to work hand in hand with these essays on SDGs and climate change, I believe that they can create an avenue where they will be able to reach people at grassroots level, at local government level, at even world level, to enlighten them about these goals and to enlighten them about the impact the process on our life and how they can help in the implementation. Like I told you, these goals is not they are not one man thing. There are 17 goals that should be implemented by every one of us, not only by the government or by the business people or by the urban people. No, there are goals that should be implemented by all people. As long as we are allowed, these goals matters to you, and you should help in the implementation of this goal. So what we are calling is that we are calling on state to come up with these policies that they will use and work with people at the all rural level to see that these goals reach them, and to see that they also help in the implementation. For example, in terms of waste management, all this waste management and all this flood that we are having, most of them are from the rural communities. So if we can show them the impact of this and we can show them how they can help in the mitigation, let the government go and enlighten them and show them how they can help in these areas. So I believe there are many foundations, even our organization, we are working to see how we can reach people at the grassroots level, even at primary school level, to see that we reach. But us alone, we cannot do it alone without the government. We need the government to start something. We need the government to push us for us to be able to reach people at the grassroots level. If the state government can do this, the state government are more closer to the people. If they can do it, I believe that it's something that will help us as NGOs and will help other philanthropists that will be able to work with the rural communities and enlighten them more in terms of the implementation. So there's need for to see the broader picture. There's need for these goals to go at the grassroots level. There's need for the rural communities to be seeing the impact, not only the urban communities. We need that, and I believe that the easiest way we can do that is by the state government taking this seriously and coming up with policies that will go to the people directly. Thank you.
Get you correctly, you are saying that the various tiers of government are not doing enough in order to support the drive of the SDG growth and implementation in Nigeria. Is that what you're saying, Bashir?
Yeah, no. What I'm saying, just like we say, what I'm saying is that we need to do more. Some states are doing well, while some states are not doing well. So what I'm saying, we are calling on other states to do more. You know, you cannot say that someone is not doing anything, because at least even if them having SDGs or SDGs climate change, that makes them automatically to be doing something. But what we are saying is that you shouldn't just have someone there when he's not doing anything. You should make it a priority, your priority, personal priority, to see that you work on it, to see that you provide the necessary equipment to provide the necessary support for this initiative to function and for the offices to work. So what we are calling is that we are just calling on the state government, particularly the state government, not the federal government, the state government to work seriously and to work tirelessly in these areas and to see that they liaise with various departments or the ministries they have in their state to see that they make this a priority at their respective state. So we are just calling for them to wake up and to do more to what they are already doing.
All right, so Bashir, is there no possibility that individual organizations, CSOs, NGOs that are even traveled down to observe some of this implementation of the SDGs goals, is it not possible that some of these NGOs are the ones frustrating the implementation process and delaying the implementation of the SDG goals even in Africa?
Mr. Godwin, I cannot comment on that. I cannot say that these people are the ones delaying it. But what I believe is that every NGO have their own mandate and have their own objectives. These NGOs, they are there, most of them, to support in the implementation because most of them, they have connection with the international organizations. So they cannot just go there and be talking figures and be talking lies. No, they must do something on ground for the people at the grassroots level before they can go to the international organization and show them that this is what we do before they can get support. So I cannot say that the NGOs, they are sabotaging. What you are saying is that the NGOs, they are sabotaging the effort of this implementation. No, anyone who can commit his time, his resources to see that they go to the rural communities to enlighten them and bring data to the international communities, you cannot call those people as sabotagers. No. So even if some of the NGOs are sabotaging this effort, I personally, I don't believe in that, and I don't think that there are many NGOs that are sabotaging this effort, because just like I said, every NGO have their objective and every one of them want to make an impact that they can present to the world level. So some of them might be, well, some of them might not be, but I have it in good faith that I believe that most of the NGOs, they are even trying more than the government, because I believe that some of the NGOs, if you go to the grassroots level, you will see them have presence at the grassroots level, not even where even the government don't have presence. So they are doing this to take the credit and take it to the international community to show what they are doing. So we cannot call that sabotage. All we can call that is that they are playing their own part. But what I said is that some of these NGOs will not have that capacity to go to international communities. Some of them, their capacity is only at state or at the federal level, for example. So that's why we want the government to start creating a blueprint where both the NGOs and the government agencies can use to follow that blueprint in terms of this implementation. If a state take this SDG more seriously, I'm telling you that state is going to have more NGOs that will be able to help that state in the implementation than the state that's not taking this SDGs more seriously. So all we are calling is that as leaders, as the policy makers, the government, they should just take it seriously, and NGOs and other partners will come and help them in the implementation. If there's any sabotage, that one I cannot comment on that, and I know that if there's any sabotage, the government maybe will be able to use their resources to navigate the sabotage and to see that they flush any sabotage or anything. So I believe that the NGOs, they are really doing well, and I believe that with the guidelines and monitoring of the government, the NGOs can even do better and achieve more sustainable results.
I let you go even on this segment talking about the SDG goals and assessing the impact on Africa. Someone said that the SDGs, in terms of since the goals were created and try to measure the growth in terms of its implementation in Africa, that is as if we've not moved an inch in terms of our implementational strive. How correct is this in terms of assessing the implementation? Have we moved an inch so far, Bashir?
Yeah, I can say that we have moved even further than an inch. So we have done that, and I'm telling you that the way we are seeing the implementation now, we cannot compare it to 10 years ago or to 5 years ago. So the people are now more cautious. You can see programs about these SDGs. You can see You can see government participating. You can see various, especially the federal government. We can see all of them doing participating well in terms of enlightenment and in terms of the areas of implementation. So I can say that we have moved a lot. We have moved. There are many various international communities. For example, the UNDP now, if you can follow their activities in Nigeria, UNDP Nigeria, you will know that we have moved further than an inch in terms of the implementation, because they are doing well. They are going to communities, engaging the state government, engaging the federal government, engaging even rural communities. So I'm telling you that we have achieved a reasonable amount of success in terms of the implementation. But all we have to do is that we have a limited time, which is just 5 years to this, less than 6 years to this. So I believe that we should put more effort to the implement. Whatever we are doing with the little time we have, we should put more effort to do more. So I believe that we are achieving a reasonable amount, and we are doing well. Both the government and the non-government parties, we can see that they are trying, but we just need to do more and put more effort. And also, there is a need for strong partnership. Whatever we are doing, we cannot do it alone. We cannot do it as an individual. We have to partner with various organizations, various individuals, and we have to start it right from home. I always call on people that change begins with we. We have to do it right from ourselves, from the way we use plastics, from the way we recycle things, from the way we do a lot of things. So we have to start it from ourselves. We have to be cautious of it. We have to be cautious of our environment to see how we can protect our mother earth, and to see how we can achieve these goals, and also to see how we can benefit as individuals and as youth. So I can see that I can say that we are seeing progress gradually.
At this point, I want to say thank you so much, Bashiru, for finding out time to be with us even on the desk today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gordon, for having me here.
All right,
Thank you.
that's for the first segment of the show. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll still talk more even on the desk. Please stay with us as the show continues in a moment.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is the desk here on Global Television. My name is Godwin Sunday. The People's Democratic Party, PDP Governors Forum, has declared that the party will not join or merge with any other political party before the 2027 general elections. The forum chairman, Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, stated this on Monday at the end of a meeting in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. While reading the group's communique after the meeting, Mr. Mohammed said that the PDP governors resolved that the party would not join any coalition or merger. He, however, said that the PDP, as a major opposition party, would welcome any party, association, or group willing to join it with a view to wresting power from the APC and enthroning good leadership in 2027. The governor's position on coalition comes months after the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election, former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, and his Labour Party counterpart, Peter Obi, met in Abuja. The duo met in December, after which the former vice president shared a video of them having a breakfast. Well, this issue have continued to generate conversation around the country. And of course, this is a very top and big conversation. So joining us right now to talk about the position of the PDP governors in terms of the decision that they've taken so far is the chairman is a PDP chieftain, and he is Kach Onanuju, and is joining us in this conversation. You're welcome to the desk, Dr. Kach Onanuju. If you can hear me, good evening, Dr. Kach Onanuju. To get him to join. Now, this issue have generated a lot of controversies and a lot of conversation around the country. At first, we thought that the PDP will be, at this point, merging with other political parties like the SDP, which is the Social Democratic Party, and the LP, which stands for Labour Party, and other political parties. We thought that we'll see a merger of different political parties in order to compete with the All Progressive Congress, which is the APC, in the forthcoming election in 2027. But now we've not seen all of that playing out. But this has generated a lot of controversies and conversation around the country. But joining me again to talk about the conversation is Kach Onanuju. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, let's look at the position of the governors, even saying there is no merger, there won't be any merger, and there won't be any form of coalition in order to wrestle power with the All Progressive Congress. What do you make of this development, and even on the position of the various governors?
Yes, it is the governors are in charge of the party. If anything will happen with the party, you will hear it first from the governors. The governors are not willing to go into a merger that the people who they do not send or people they do not trust are talking about. So, right now, take what the governors have said. They are not involved in any merger. And if anybody who's talking about merger, that's a private talk between politicians and friends. What the governor said are final, and we are happy about that. It shows a united party. It shows that at last the governors have come together to take a firm position on the affairs of country. So this is fine. And if you check across the country, from the words of the governors, it simply means that they will not be led by anybody. Whatever happens to the party shall be things decided by them, the caucus of the governors, not by any other outsiders, because they never sent anybody to negotiate a merger or, on their behalf. So take what they have said for now. If there could be a merger in future, that will happen. If there will be any arrangement in future, that could happen. But that will not happen without the say-so of the governors. Why? The governors are currently in charge of the party, and they finally now have found the unity of purpose to speak with one voice. And I believe Nigerians should be very happy for finally that the governors have now found their voice to speak in unison.
But Dr. Ononuju, let's look at the position of the governors, even on this particular matter. It tends to be that the governors have tilted even along a particular candidate of the People's Democratic Party. There is this misunderstanding that has been alleged misunderstanding in the political party between the Atiku Abubakar and former governor of Rivers State and current FCT minister in the person of Nyesom Wike. Looking at this both angle to the story, are the governors trying to tilt their swing to the part of Wike in this particular with this particular decision?
No, 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 no. The governors, with their last decision, they have gotten away from the Wike conundrum, and they have gotten out of the Atiku issue, which has been the single most negatively impactful problem that the party has suffered since its inception. You know, they don't want that Atiku issue. Atiku doesn't talk about party. All he talk about is deceitfully manipulative, all for his own advantage. So I don't think the governors want that. And I believe the country should see the wisdom in what the governors have done. The governors do not want to have anybody that they didn't talk to suddenly be acting as if they send that person. Please, let us all as Nigerians respect the position of the governors. The governors are right, and the party people are behind them. They are not with Atiku, neither are they with Wike. So let us respect where the governors are taking the parties to, and I believe the party's rank and file are very happy about the position of the governor.
But then looking at the position of the governors, even as it stands right now, the governors also move a step further by also rejecting that which the Supreme Court has affirmed as the secretary of the party. Many people from Atiku's camp have said that that decision can only happen by the NEC or the National Working Committee and not the governors' forum. How correct is this assertion? Have the governors erred in terms of putting their foot down on where they stand in this particular discourse?
Well, I want to correct you. What the Supreme Court said, that issues about positions is an internal party issue, and somebody running to court to seek an affirmation of his own position, or a group going to court to seek an affirmation of their own position, is not envisaged by the law. The law says only when the party finds the unity can they sit down, and in this case, the caucus of the governors, and take a position. When the party takes that position, like the governors have taken, it becomes final, and the governors have now fixed the convention and the next meeting, and I believe we should accept that. They are not dancing towards Wike. That's why you're seeing Wike's people are complaining. They are not dancing towards Atiku. That's why you see the protest yesterday for Atiku in Gombe. They don't want Atiku at all. The governors want to go to the south, and that's how it should be. They want to go to south and get a candidate, and that is not in Atiku's favor. And they are asking that whatever it is that they shall decide when they get to the party's convention, which is the highest decision-making body of the party, and they have fixed that for Kanu. So I believe everybody should respect the position of the governors. What they did has brought joy across the rank and file of the party. Atiku Abubakar is not for the party, he's only for himself. And because of himself, we lost elections. So the governors don't want to make that mistake of following Atiku Abubakar anywhere. Let me tell you, Atiku Abubakar is the most negatively impactful politician that have undermined the party. When he formed NPDP, he used that to build a national coalition, could better the Buhari presidency. After 8 years of Buhari, Atiku still insisted he will run. That was why the party fragmented, and then Mr. Okupe, we formed the youth movement, which of course is anti-party. Why? Because when Atiku told people to do anti-party in 2015, they suffered no consequences, and then we bettered with the P2B movement. But now that the governors are asking, what is it that will heal the party? And we said, go do a post-mortem and find out why we left to start the youth movement. Then we can bring back P2B and he will reunite the party, reunite the opposition. And that's where it is. If you followed the Bauchi meeting between P2B and Governor Bala Mohammed, that is where the governors are. Let us find a way to unite the opposition and give our democracy a viral opposition. For the sake of the democracy, we need a strong opposition. Forget about me politics done by Atiku. We don't want to do that anymore. Or Wike's game. Wike is simply reacting to the Atiku conundrum. And I believe it is good that the governors have now decided to sweep away Wike and Atiku aside and then build something in the middle where these people are not connected. That, I believe, is the right, and that's why the party's rank and file are happy. I am 100% with the governors, and I urge all Nigerians to understand this. What they're trying to do is to build a virile and strong opposition for the sake of our democracy and not for any deceitful man who wants to be me. All Atiku does is deceitful, manipulative politics for himself. The governors have said now the next president for the party will come from the south, and that's that. So you can understand that. If Atiku wants to go to SDP, he can go do that. If he wants to jump into the APC, he can go do that. Let us give our democracy a viral opposition. And I believe this position of the PDP governors shall bring a viral and united opposition to the democracy that we have today in our fatherland, Nigeria.
Position, Dr. Onanuju, at this point, even the coalition of opposition politicians have also alleged that the People's Democratic Governors Forum are playing the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's spoiler game plan, which is aimed at avoiding defeat in the 2027 election. That is, the governors are playing the Bola Tinubu's card. But in your own assessment, do you think that the opposition, what the coalition of opposition politicians are saying right now hold waters, that the governors are playing the Tinubu's card in ensuring that? Of course, we've seen what Governor Eno of Akwa Ibom State has said. Imo Eno have said that Tinubu will likely win, that they will give him their support. And right now, coalition of opposition politicians are saying the same thing, that the governor is still, the governors are playing the game card of President Tinubu. How correct is this assertion going by the current realities that we see on ground?
Well, I think it would be wrong for you to have any band of inconsequential Nigerians speak politically and give themselves some names. The PDP is on its own. What you saw about the Akwa Ibom State governor has to do with the local politics. He has come to work peacefully with Senator Godswill Akpabio, and that is understandable. So in order to allow Godswill Akpabio peace in his state, he says that about Bola Tinubu. That probably tells you he may be wanting to go to the APC, which is normal. You know what I always say is that every ambition is legitimate. And if you check most governors who are incumbents today, The fear is if they are not seen to be polite with the president and the party in power, they could be rigged out. And so because of that, they want peace. So if Governor Eno of Akwa Ibom wants peace with Godswill Akpabio, and then he speaks that way in a way to assure Senator Akpabio that he will not fight him in his state. And so I don't see anything wrong with that. That is called survival politics. So that should be taken out. But then, what the governors of the PDP have said is the right way to go if we intend to protect our viral opposition and to rebuild it. So leave about what the rhetorics Atiku and his gang of Democrats are saying. It doesn't mean nothing. Can you have a diverse, heterogeneous society like Nigeria, and only one man, Atiku, every day he wants to run, every day? It is because of him that the PDP is where he is. Atiku's inordinate ambition is the reason that Nigeria's democracy today does not have a viral opposition. So if we want to move forward, there's nothing wrong throwing Atiku in the under the bus and moving forward for the sake of the country. How can we have a party only for one man? We're not going to do that. If the position of the governors is the reason they are making this statement, let them make them. I support the governor and a lot of the rank and file of the party for the governor, and we believe this is the only way we can give the opposition a strength in our democracy.
All right, Doctor, but you are saying that you support the party, even the governors, but a lot of the chieftain from the People's Democratic Party have openly come out to criticize the decision of the governors, even in this light. But then let's look at the governors forum right now. One will say that the governors forum have taken a resolution. On the other hand, you've said they've not erred in terms of what they've done. But a decision that has not been carried out by the convention of PDP, that has not been carried out by the NEC, neither was it carried out or taken by the National Working Committee. Doesn't this amount to a more division of the party, even as PDP begins to prepare for off-season elections in Anambra State and other states? Wouldn't this throw the party into more political comatose and quagmire?
No. Where we kept quiet for the Atiku Abubakar conundrum to undermine the party, that's why the party doesn't have a candidate in Anambra State. It is when Atiku insisted he must run. That's why nobody in the Southeast gives the PDP any iota of seriousness, and that's why you don't see any candidate for the party in Anambra. What you have there now is a placeholder. That's not proper. Same thing in Imo, same thing all over the place. How can you run a party with only one man? And I tell you, nobody has complained against the party. Tell me the person who has made a statement, I will tell you who he is and who he works for. Let us build a democracy with a viral opposition, not a democracy in the pocket of one man. What really do you want to do? Let me tell you, the decision of the governors is not liked by Atiku and his followers. It also may not be liked by those who support Wike, who is simply doing the job of an undertaker. So the governors have decided now to move forward, no matter whose ox is God. And they have told you that they are zoning the presidency to the south. What's wrong with that? If the North have had presidency for 8 years through Buhari, shouldn't the pendulum go back to the South? It is because of Atiku's insistence. That's why the party disintegrated. The governors now want to bring back the party to united. And to do that, they do a post-mortem. What is the problem the party has? Atiku Abubakar. Same Atiku Abubakar that formed MPDP. Used that to build a coalition that brought down the Goodluck administration and removed the party from power. Same man, after 8 years of Buhari, Kuchi campaigned for and got the North to now take the presidency for 8 years. Why wouldn't you rest and allow the Southerners to have a say? The governors have said the presidency goes to the South, and that's what it is. So stop all the rigmarole or trying to introduce some acrobat by those who do not belong to decision-making rooms. The decision have been taken by the governors, and we, who are the rank and file of the party, support them, and we thank them very much for making this correction. If you don't listen, we've been here before. In 2015, President Goodluck ran, and a lot of members of the party from the North were led by Atiku into an alliance with the APC, and that was how Buhari became president. So, And after 8 years of Buhari, the presidency now comes back to the south. So that's why you've had leaders from the APC who are going to the SDP, like El-Rufai have said, it is to the south. The governors also in PDP have now said it is to the south. So let it be in the south. And please, don't think this country or the party belongs to Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar's inordinate ambition, which is premised on desperation, is not caused by the party. That's a personal ambition. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. The governors have said the presidency goes to the south, so shall it be, and we support that.
How it plays out if PDP other stakeholders will want to go approach the court to test the legality even of this case. But we'll get to talk to you more, Dr. Onanuju, even on this matter. But I want to say thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, this is how far we can go this evening on the desk. Well, the desk will return to you again on Friday. I will get to talk more even issues that borders around Nigeria. Don't forget that you can join the conversation on our various social media handle now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. You can also download the Global TV mobile app to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin.
I see.
Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. From all of us here on the Dex crew, it's bye for now.